Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading, where we will be looking at what the person on your mind isn't telling you, but what is important for you to know about them, about your situation, whatever needs to come through. And there will also be an extended, which you can find the link to down below. And personal readings are also available, and the link is also down below. And with that out of the way, I don't really have too much to say, so I will leave you to focus on which deck calls to you the most, and I will see you soon. Hello, my beautiful pile ones, and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at what the person on your mind is not telling you, but what is important for you to know in terms of what you need to know about their heart space and what they would say if you could have a heart-to-heart conversation. A mix and match of those subjects. So let's just get into this. There will also be an extended, but we will talk about that later on. So to start off your reading, we have Don Juan, and this came out upright, so we'll take the light attribute, spotlights your positive seductive qualities. We have the 5th house, Leo energy could be significant. We also have 7. Libra energy could be significant from the 7th house. Or this makes me think of the Chariot as well, so Cancer energy. We have the Gem. We have you deserve to give yourself tenderness anytime you wish. We have the Transformation. This did come out in reverse, so we will keep that in mind. We have 2nd house, owning, Taurus energy, as well as Saturn, truth, Capricorn energy, and this is the 3 of Swords in the tarot. And based on this energy, I feel like this is someone that you were with, and you could still be with this person, but it feels like something went wrong or something didn't go according to plan. Like the situation that you were in shifted in a way that was probably undesirable to this person, and possibly it was also in a way that you didn't want it to transform as well. I'm really drawn to, like, I'm really focusing on the fixed energies that are coming through, and it almost feels like it was like fate stepped in. Maybe both of you tried your best to make this situation work, or even if it was not objectively your best, or you feel like this person didn't put in enough effort or in the same way that you did, or vice versa. I feel like in your own perspectives, both of you did the best with the resources you had, with what you know about yourself, with what you know about the other person, through your habits and your just understanding of relationships and your perspective of relationships. It feels like it was unfortunate, this ending, even though it also doesn't seem so unexpected. It feels like there may have been a buildup, or maybe you knew deep down that there was something that wasn't at that moment entirely compatible between the two of you, and some things had to change, and it feels like that transformation was not happening in the way that you may have wanted it to or expected it to. And for some of you, this could be because this person, while they were incredibly drawn to you and absolutely cared about you in their own way, it feels like maybe it wasn't in a way you fully understood. This is making me think of this one quote I saw somewhere the other day, and it was like, if you love me, it's not in a way I understand, or something like that. I butchered this completely. It sounded much more like poetic when I saw it. Very simple, but very poetic. And it almost feels like this was a situation where, like, you just had very different perspectives about what you want from a relationship or what you can do in a relationship. And that may have, in time, pushed the two of you away from each other. And I think there is a lot going on in this energy, even if you are separated from this person or you are going through a rough patch with this person. I think this connection is very heavily on their mind. I feel like right now they could be like hard at work or focusing on work or their studies, but that also doesn't seem to really help with pushing thoughts of you away, even though I feel like that's what this person is essentially trying to do. But I also feel like there is this very hot energy of feeling very, very, very drawn to you. And I don't mean that just in like a physical, intimate kind of way, but I feel that this person is very drawn to you energetically on a level that maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense to them. But it feels like something keeps pulling them back to you, even if you are in no contact. I think some of you might be in contact with this person, or at least they could be receiving information about you in some way, but it also doesn't feel like it's entirely open communication. It feels a bit like they could see things about you on social media, or you may have mutual friends that they could like hear some things from about you. Because with this gem energy as well, it like this kind of image surrounding it, it makes me think of fog. It makes me think of just like weeds and things just that are in the way in between the two of you. So I get the sense that this person is not getting a lot of direct information from you. Even if you are their only source of information about you, you may be a bit more closed off to this person, or maybe not fully receptive to them, or not really giving them too much about what's going on with your life and how you're feeling. And I feel like that this person, I think there's so much they want to say to you, but they're also not really able to. One thing that is coming through with the 7 and the Don Juan energy, this person I think feels that you may be seeing other people, or you may be interested in other people, or you may have already moved on from this situation. I think one reason for this is that they see you as someone so remarkable, it wouldn't make sense for you to like be stuck on this situation. And I don't think this is because they think you don't care about them. I think they see you as someone who is very caring, very giving, very loving, but maybe they've like used up their chances already, or they've messed up in a way that really hurt you. Because with the Saturn energy coming through, I do think there's been a lot of pain in this situation. Maybe things like small things adding up over time. It doesn't really feel like for most of you there was this one huge argument. There could have been a big argument, but it feels like it would have been the last straw. It doesn't feel like everything was perfect and then suddenly something went wrong. It does feel a bit like there was a bit of a build-up to this. At least like in an intuitive way, you may have felt like something was off, or they may have felt like something was off. And this is a number 9, and it's making me think of the Hermit in the tarot. Virgo energy could be significant, but it's also making me think of the 9 of Pentacles. And because it came out in reverse, I feel like this person has not really made any progress on their own. I'm also drawn to this like how closed this figure is. It's not really going anywhere. It's not really moving. It's kind of just within itself. And it's closed off from everything else. And I feel like this person is trying to enjoy their life, but they're really not feeling, does it say zest? It doesn't, almost says, I mean, kind of. I don't speak French, so can't tell you what that is, but it almost feels like there's no zest, like something's been lost and they feel that absence very clearly. But at the same time, this person realizes that they haven't been as tender, they haven't been as gentle, they haven't been as giving, they haven't been as warm as you deserve and as you may have asked them for. You may have openly communicated your needs to this person and they still may have like not really understood what you mean or how to go about it. I don't think this is someone with bad intentions, but it feels like something went terribly wrong in their perspective. And if this person could talk to you now or like be very open with you about their feelings and where they're at, I think they still care about you very deeply. They may not have an exact label for their feelings. It may feel scary to label them even, because I think they're trying to look away from these feelings. Look at how this, like, how he's looking away. It feels like there is a stuck energy to this. This is Two of Pentacles energy as well. This is all like bunched up in itself. This is a lot of flowers, also with a lot of layers, and flowers don't really walk anywhere. And this is a gem, also unmoving, transformation in reverse. It just feels like they feel that they're not really going anywhere. As much as they may like tell themselves, okay, I'm moving forward. I also just saw 1111. They may tell themselves like, I'm moving forward, it's for the best, but they are actually not. They may tell you I am moving forward, it's for the best, but I feel like they're not going anywhere. And they seem to be aware of that, but also they seem to not want to be aware of that. Because it feels frustrating, because it feels confusing, because they feel like they may have made a mistake that they're never really going to let themselves live down. In some ways, I think they do feel like maybe it was for the best, whatever happened here. Maybe you needed space away from each other, you needed time on your own. They might feel like you deserve better and like you actually deserve to be courted by these people that they assume you're courted by. They might assume that like there are people that are interested in you, that are pursuing you, and they, I think, feel that you deserve to have your needs met. You deserve something different than them. But I think there's also a part of them that wonders, what if I could have been different? What if like this was not my full potential? Or am I just bound to be stuck in the same energy forever? Is this just who I am, like inevitably, and is this just what will happen all the time to me? I feel like you have a lot of depth to how you approach relationships. I don't think you're necessarily satisfied with surface level. You may like go after that at times, but I feel like that would only be because you're not actually looking for like a connection at that point. You may just engage in like, I don't know, more surface level things, like random hookups and stuff, or just like friends with benefits types of things, only because you are not actually interested in like more at that moment in your life. But I feel like when you are in relationship mode, you don't do shallow and you don't do like simple, in the sense that you don't do just like bare minimum. You may have accepted that kind of behavior in the past, but I feel like it's gotten to a point where you value that your needs are met. Like that is important. You seem to be in a place where you're not willing to settle. And I think this person recognizes that. You may have made this obvious to them as well, or told them like, these are my needs, this is non-negotiable for me, how can we work together to meet my needs while also meeting yours. And this person may have just said, I don't know, I guess it's not possible. It kind of feels like they backed out and they thought they were doing it because it's for the best, but they value you so much. And there is like this rare gem kind of energy to you. They may feel like they'll never meet anyone like you, and like they've kind of missed an opportunity because they weren't stepping up, because they took it for granted, because they didn't realize what they had until it was gone. Let's get into the tarot. And before we get into that, I will quickly talk about the extended. In the extended, we will look at what they really want to happen between the two of you. Like no barriers, nothing, what they truly want. Like what is the truest desire that they have about this connection. We will also get tons of channeled messages from them. And I did add some new messages to the message deck, so I'm excited for that. I've been really into the channeled messages lately. And we will also look at where is this connection headed, like regardless of what it is that they want, what actions are coming through, what direction is coming through for this connection based on current energies. And we will also get channeled messages from your higher self and or advice on how to deal with this situation. So if you're interested, the link for that will be down below, and let's get into pile one, please. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the High Priestess. I think this person feels very intuitively connected to you as well. I'm really drawn to the kind of blues and the purples in both of these images. And it almost feels like this is what is in here. And it feels like they're trying to not hold on to any particular outcome in this situation. I think they are trying to just be in the present in whatever is happening in their life right now. I think they're trying to focus on the people that are in their life right now, or like that they may hang out with. It could also have to do with work. It just feels like they are trying to stay in their present moment and not go so far away in their head. But with this High Priestess energy coming out, I think they potentially dream about you or just always have you in the back of their mind in some way. They may hear songs that remind them of you. They may see things in their environment. So even when they're in this energy of like, I will stay where I am, I'll be in the present moment, I think they think of you very often. They may not just sit and think and do nothing else, but let's say they're like cooking. They may think, Pile One and I used to cook like this. Pile One would have said this if they were here. Things like that. I think you're still in a way like very enmeshed in their energy. But I also feel like that's something that they try to not acknowledge too much. And I also feel that they feel very connected to you regardless of what may have happened between the two of you, or like regardless of the actual state of the connection right now. And Cancer energy could be significant with the High Priestess coming out. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. We have the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups in reverse. There is definitely an escapist tinge to this energy, also with the Three of Cups in reverse coming out. They may try to surround themselves with other people, with their friends, and I'm especially getting like drinking or smoking or anything that kind of like, oh, that's my HelloFresh box, I believe. Anything that they can kind of distract themselves with, I feel like they go for it. Maybe that's just always been their daily routine as well, like to distract themselves from things that are difficult. If they're stressed at work, they may come home and drink, or they may have a joint, or like they may go party a lot on the weekends or weekdays, whatever it may be. I feel like this person has something that they distract themselves with from their feelings and their thoughts, or at least something that they attempt to distract themselves with. Can we clarify the Nine of Cups? We have the King of Wands in reverse. We have the Emperor in reverse. Aries energy could be significant. It's out of their control, their thoughts and feelings. Even though they try to be in control of them, they are inherently not at all in control. I think it also scares them to think about things that are like outside of their present moment, because I think it makes them feel quite frustrated, quite scared, quite stressed to think about what happened in this connection and to think about the consequences of what happened. Especially, I think in some ways they are aware of the consequences. They are aware of maybe a rift growing between the two of you, or you moving away or you moving on. But at the same time, there is still this strong connection that they feel towards you. And maybe on your end, it's not mutual, because it almost feels a bit like they see you moving away, but they're not going anywhere. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Magician, Gemini, and Virgo. And we have Temperance, Sagittarius. Yeah, this kind of makes me think of like, do you see the like drops of, I guess, water going into the fire? It almost feels like this is pouring out of these cups, and it's alcohol, so it's not really helping put out the fire. That's what it feels like. Like they're trying to make it better, but they're not necessarily managing to find balance, find peace, find acceptance. I think they're trying. It's not due to a lack of trying, or they're not doing anything. But I think they're really not in control of their emotional body or their thoughts and how these energies affect them daily. So it's just the only thing they know how, I think, is right now to kind of escape it. They may change their mind very often as well with this Magician coming out, because I think these feelings, these energies, look at how the Magician is staring at this. It feels like they didn't make this work or put in the effort when they had an opportunity to. They weren't interested, or they were interested, but they weren't showing it. They were confused. They were unsure. Whatever it may have been specifically, it feels like their actions just did not match what they promised you or what you wanted. And it feels like that led to this whole string of events. Like not seeing eye to eye, things not working out the way either of you thought they would. With this magician energy, this person understands their role in this. And I think a part of them is like, okay, this is what happened, I have to move on. But another part of them, because of this overflow of thoughts and feelings that they try to repress, I think another part of them thinks like, maybe there is something I can do. Maybe this doesn't have to be done yet. But even if they say that, I don't know if they truly believe that. It feels like a lot has changed, not in their life, but maybe in your energy and in your life. I also just saw 25. 25 could be significant. Ooh. Oh. My apologies. Kicked the table. Is there anything else that we are missing? I think this person does want you to be happy. I think they do care about your well-being. But it doesn't feel like they've been good at providing for you, and or like in the past they may have not been showing up as the best version of themselves, or the version of themselves that they promised you. We have the Queen of Pentacles. What else, please? Is there anything else? We have the Knight of Cups in reverse. It feels like they couldn't show you. Like they wanted this, you received their offer, or you were open to receiving from them, but they got distracted, or they got confused, or they forgot how much this mattered to them, or whatever it may have been. I do think this person's judgment is quite clouded. For some of you, this might be because of, like, they may have made decisions when they weren't sober, things like that. But it could also just be because they're not good at managing their thoughts and feelings. They may actually compartmentalize their feelings and just try to go with logic, but then it doesn't feel right to their heart. It's kind of what it feels like. We have the World and we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. We have the Devil, the King of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. This person isn't sure how you would receive them at this point, or if you would be receptive to their energy at all. You do feel far away. This could be emotionally with the Eight of Cups, but it could also be that you are literally far away, like at a long distance from this person, or you may have like asked them to not contact you. Something along those lines. I want to get some channeled messages now. What message wants to come through? I think this person cares for you much deeper than they may be able to tell you. I don't think they're good at expressing their feelings. I value the memories we made. We also have my mind is set on you. We have I don't feel the same. I have faith in this situation. I will clarify, I don't feel the same. Don't worry. Whenever that comes up, I I don't know, I see like an image of mass hysteria in my head in collective readings, because I know sometimes, like, well, first of all, only take what resonates and leave what doesn't, obviously, but anyway, you don't listen to me, I don't feel heard. And we also have healing. For some of you, this person may have like offered to reconcile or apologized or said they were sorry for what happened, and you may just not believe them. You may feel like you can't believe what they say, or you can't take their word because maybe in the past, especially, their actions didn't match their words. We also have these two that came out, so I'll just also show them. Is it too late? And I wish I could have given you more. Yeah, that seems to be a big theme. And bottom deck energy is this the end for us? So there is that like back and forth of like uncertainty. I also just saw 30-30, so maybe one of you's 30, one of you's 25, something like that. What else was I going to do? Oh yeah, we were going to clarify I don't feel the same. Let's do that. Can we clarify the... I get it. This is literally on top of the Page of Wands in reverse and the Seven of Pentacles. And when we were looking at the tarot, I got the energy of like, this was this person in the past not feeling motivated to put effort into this relationship, or feeling like they don't need to, they shouldn't have to. And I feel like maybe their perspective around this is shifting and they're realizing that they could have done more. We have the Two of Swords. Can we clarify I don't feel the same? I don't think they're so certain in like their resolve in, yeah, we have the Six of Cups in reverse, and we have the Six of Wands. We also have the Seven of Cups sticking out again with the World and the Eight of Cups and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. I think this person is reminiscing a lot on the past right now, and I think they're seeing that their approach may not have been the best way. They may have felt like, I'm staying true to myself, I am just doing like what feels right to me. But I think maybe they're realizing it wasn't about like what felt right to them, but they were more so rationalizing things or looking at things from a very stoic perspective. And I feel like within this connection, stoic just does not work, because I think their feelings run quite deep, maybe deeper than they realize. And with this in reverse, it feels like that depth, that kind of passionate, creative, inspired energy has come to the surface when everything turned upside down, essentially, because they may have just been seeing this tree and they may think, okay, like decent tree, but not much going on, you know, just normal. And then once that's upside down, it's like, wait a second, like there's all of this, there are all of these feelings, there's all of this energy that's going on. And butterflies make me think of transformation. So I feel like the way they look at their own behavior, their own feelings, how you may have been showing up as well, the battle that was going on, and what they see as a victory in that battle. I feel like their perspective on that could be shifting. And on this note, this is all I have for you. I hope this was helpful. and I will see you in a little bit if you are meeting me in the extended, and if not, that's also perfectly fine, and I am sending you tons of love. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile twos, and welcome to your reading on what they're not telling you but is important for you to know. So we're going to start off with these oracle cards first, then we have some tarot to get through as well as channeled messages, and there will also be an extended, but we will talk about that later. So starting off your reading, we have the networker. This came out upright, so we will take the light attribute. Enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. We have fixed signs, could be significant. I'm not going to pronounce this. The IC. We have the storm. You can find more clarity by moving through the fog rather than moving around it. We have the beginning. We have Mars force, Aries energy could be significant, as well as Cancer with this card and with the 4th house. So this person's energy feels quite young, but they don't have to be physically young. But it does feel a bit like someone who is either inexperienced or a bit insecure in certain ways, especially when it comes to connections and especially when it comes to stepping up in a connection. For some of you, this might be someone that you met at school. That is coming through very strongly. They don't need to have been a student. They don't need to have been even like studying with you. But I'm seeing like a school or like the surroundings of a school or through a group of friends that you know from school. That doesn't have to be the case for every single one of you, but there is something very significant about school and learning, and it feels a bit like it ties to the school of life as well, not the school of life, but what I mean by that is kind of learning through like life experiences and not just academics, or schools for degrees and diplomas and stuff. So I think you and this person, the energy feels distant to me. You might be at a long distance from them, but regardless of the physical situation between the two of you, I feel like you are also either not in a lot of contact with this person, fully in no contact, or just if you have contact, it's just not very in depth and you don't know each other too well. That is coming through the strongest. This person does not know you that well. It could be that you have been with this person and they're from the past, but they don't know what's going on with you now and they don't know who you've become now. This is someone who is potentially going through some trouble in the home space as well. Whatever structure they may have had at home, whatever structure they may have had for their own identity and who they think they are, what they think they want, what kind of situations have so far been stable in their life, there seems to be something going on where a lot of these are shifting and this person is having to go through these tower moments of, that was stable, it's not anymore. I had this thing, now I don't anymore. I thought this about myself, but I don't feel the same way anymore. I feel like there are a lot of shifts happening for this person, and it feels a bit like they're unsure in terms of which direction to go. Everything feels new in this person's energy, but I feel like for most of you, that's not really because this person is on this journey for the first time or it's their first day on this journey, but I feel like the energy has come to a point where it's almost overflowing. Some things need to change in this person's life because they have been in situations that keep them stuck, and they've been ignoring this repeatedly, that they have not left their comfort zone. And for some of you, this will be unrelated to your situation with them. This will just be something that maybe they're going through with their family. If they live with their parents, for example, they could be having some trouble seeing eye to eye with their parents while figuring out their own identity. Regardless of how old this person is, I think they are in a place where they're trying to establish their independence from situations that may have been holding them stuck or caged in certain ways in the past, and they've kind of turned a blind eye to this. For some of you, I feel this person might have certain commitments in their life that they have come to realize are holding them back. And this could be a career, it could be a location, a place that they live, could be kind of how strongly they hold on to past memories, especially from childhood. But for some of you, I think this person might be married or committed to someone else, and they are in a place where they're realizing it's not working. They need a fresh breath of air. It's just too frustrating, too overwhelming, and they want to know what else is possible for them. But I do think this person right now is not in a place where they feel very confident in themselves, and I don't really see them like being much of a risk taker out of their own will. It's more so that they may have been pushed into circumstances that have caused them to be forced into shifts and transformations and making things happen for them. It feels like with this fixed energy, it almost feels like the wheel of fortune was turning and they were attached to it, so they had to turn with it. But they're not in control, even if they try to establish their own personality, not their own personality, but their own identity. I think this person is not someone who knows their own self very well, especially because they are used to being in this comfort zone of what feels comfortable, but maybe does not really serve them or does not really make them feel good, because comfortable does not have to mean good. And how this relates to your connection, I think, is one, there is curiosity in this person's energy towards you, but it also feels a bit like a crush type of energy. Like they definitely have noticed you, they're watching you from afar, but they're not really going in and doing something about it, or they're not really entertaining the situation fully, or they're not really taking a step towards you. You might be coworkers as well with this networker energy. It just feels like you share some kind of environment, or you did in the past, and you've stayed connected in some sense, at least in this person's head. So this could be someone that you met on a dating app, and you stayed connected through like following each other on social media. You could have just met on a dating app as well. It just feels like there is something in common that holds the two of you together. Your environments don't feel entirely separated, even though you seem to live completely separate lives. So I don't think this is someone that you are with. If you were with this person, I would guess you are in separation, and you don't really have too much information about how the other person is doing, where they're at, and what's going on for them. But regardless, this person is someone who is going through big shifts in their life, and I don't think they have shared these things with you. Maybe because you just don't really talk that much, or maybe because they feel like you, well, it's their thing to deal with. I don't think this is someone who is very outspoken about their emotional body, especially. I do think they're struggling a bit with these shifts that are happening in their life, and everything might feel a little bit outside of their control. And that might overwhelm them a little bit, to the point where they may come off as like not seriously interested in you, not taking this situation seriously, or not willing to be receptive to your actions if you've taken any towards this person. They may have just come off kind of casual, uncaring, like, I don't really want to deal with this kind of way, just uninterested or bored even. But I feel like this person's mind is just on overdrive, and they just don't know how to express that or what to do with the changes happening in their life. And it doesn't have to be like 10 different things that are happening at the same time, but it feels like there is at least one significant shift in something that was very stable for this person that is affecting them on quite a deep level. This doesn't feel like a surface level shift. This feels like it is turning their life in a different direction than what they expected. And it feels like it's not just them. Like, it either involves other people or it affects other people outside of them, or like their surroundings. It's not just something that is happening within this person. So it doesn't feel like just an emotional situation that they're feeling or something that's generated by their own self necessarily, but it does feel a bit external to them in certain ways as well. That is also leading to internal shifts, but it feels like they feel kind of like the waves came and took them outside of their own will. And because I think they feel so out of control in their life right now, they may not know or feel like they have a lot of space to approach you, because it kind of feels like familiar but stranger energy. They feel drawn to you, but they also don't know enough about you to really come to a conclusion or feel like this is going to be something that pays off, or this is going to be something that I should pursue, or this is something that I should open up within. It feels a bit like they've closed themselves off to the external because they don't have space. That's what it feels like. But let's get into the tarot. And we will look at what they would tell you. But before that, I will quickly talk about the extended, where we will look at what they really, really want to happen between the two of you. If there were like no boundaries, no limitations, what are their true desires? We will get tons of channeled messages from them. We'll look at where is this connection headed based on current energies, regardless of what this person's like desires are, because sometimes actions don't match our desires or things happen. So we will look at that. And we will also get channeled messages and or advice from your higher self. The link for that will be down below. With that out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what this person is not telling you, but is helpful or important for you to know. For pile 2, please, universe, what is this person not telling pile 2? We have the 8 of Wands in reverse. What is this person not telling pile 2, but is important for them to know? We have Justice in reverse. Yeah, something is upside down. Libra energy could be significant, but it doesn't have to be. We have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Seven of Wands. So they are very, very guarded, very involved in their own energy, very consumed by their own energy, and it feels quite out of balance as well. It seems like whatever happened, they weren't really expecting it to happen. For some of you, this could be that this person experienced loss in their family, or experienced the loss of someone close to them as well. It feels like they might feel that everything is working against them in certain ways. So I do think they might be in a place where everything feels a bit muddy, everything feels a bit foggy, and they're trying to work through those energies to the best of their ability. We have the Fool. Aries energy could be significant again. And we also had the Beginning card, which made me think of the Fool. You're the King of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Something that was stable is no more. They're having to redirect, and they're gonna have to take some kind of chance and do something that scares them. And it also feels like this, like they're gonna have to build courage to go after what they want. And although I don't think they are aware of this necessarily, I think some of these shifts happening in their life or in their energy are happening to make space for something new and something different. It feels like this person may have been stuck in an old cycle when they want to be aligned with things that are in a different type of energy, in a higher energy, in a more advanced energy, more aligned energy, whatever it may be that they want for themselves in their life. It feels like they haven't been a match to their desires, and it feels like they're being pushed to make certain changes in their life so they become that match. And for some of you, I feel like you might resonate with this energy, and the energy of the person on your mind might be in a different pile as well. But take it as it resonates, of course. This doesn't have to be your energy, but I just heard that in my mind's eye, in my mind's ear. Can we clarify the Eight of Wands? We have the Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, for some of you, they may be getting out of a relationship or some kind of commitment that has been relatively stable. It could also be like a contract, so it could be a work thing. And for some of you, I think it's like this person's parents getting a divorce, or their parents separating, or the loss of a parent. Like something significant is being lost. I don't want to deal too much in the exact details of what that thing might be for this person, but something is ending, and they're having to say goodbye to a version of their life that they have been used to for a long time and that they've gotten comfortable with. We have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, there is a lot of rebalancing and recalibrating. We have the Ten of Wands in reverse, making space. I'm also hearing the ambulance. They've been going a lot today. I don't know what's going on. And now it's suddenly raining like crazy. What the hell? Okay, yeah, I feel like this is kind of metaphorical to the reading as well. Like the sudden rain out of absolutely nowhere right after I mentioned the ambulances. Something unexpected, but essentially out of control, is happening to this person. They're having to leave something behind and move to something new. And the reason I think this is coming through so consistently in this reading that is about what they would tell you if they could have a heart-to-heart is to kind of portray that this person is dealing with a lot of unfamiliar energies, and if they feel closed off to you, like you perceive them to be closed off, or you perceive yourself to feel disconnected from this person, or that they like have been feeling disconnected from you. They've been acting cold or unreadable. I think this person just has a lot on their plate right now, where they might not be able to take anything else on for the time being. I don't think they're necessarily the best at expressing themselves, to be honest. We only have the Six of Swords, which is, to me, kind of like not really diving deep into your emotions, but going past them, because traditionally it'll be someone like floating away on the water on a little boat, and it feels like floating on the surface of the feelings, but not really diving deep, just like going with the flow, but not really diving into the feelings, not really dealing with them, or not really wanting to. And I think this person is not the best at explaining things and explaining themselves and explaining their feelings. We have Strength in reverse as well. I think they are quite afraid of what this new chapter in their life might bring, and I think they do feel alone in dealing with this situation. A part of them might feel like they can only go through this alone because no one else will understand what they're going through, and it is a private matter. And I do think this is someone who's a bit more like private, and someone who doesn't like to involve a lot of other people in their business, in their life, in whatever they're going through. But I feel like what this person is not telling you and would want to, but maybe they feel like you wouldn't really care anyway, or it doesn't really matter to you because you may like not be together with them, or they may just have a crush on you, so they feel like you don't really care anyway. But I think what they would tell you is essentially it's not personal if they are treating you like they are not there fully or interested, or if you asked them to hang out and they said, I just have too much going on. I think they have been honest, and I think they mean well when it comes to your connection. I don't think they're trying to be sneaky, but it feels like there are these strings that are pulling them away and forcing them to focus on different things and not be able to give so much to this connection. And if this was a connection that you've been kind of building up and you've been excited about, but it feels like the fire kind of died, I feel like that's not really the case. This feels like a temporary rough patch for most of you that this person is having to deal with. Some kind of frustration, some kind of delay, something that makes them appear more unavailable and forces them to just be on their own for a little bit and like focus on their own. I don't think they want to drag anyone into this either, but I do think there is some kind of ending or a difficult energy that they have to pull themselves together from, and that they have to accept and let go of, that it is what it is, whatever this big shift is for them. And I feel like there will be an opportunity for things to unfold after that. I mean, I cut the deck and we have the Lovers, and the other card I saw was the Nine of Cups, which seems to have disappeared, but I swear I saw it. So I feel like there will be an opportunity potentially to like at least have a conversation, or like at least you will see this person again, that kind of thing, if you do share an environment with them. Because it doesn't feel like this person is necessarily walked away, but it feels like some kind of fog, a blur in the connection. But I don't necessarily feel that this is the end of things for most of you. there anything else that wants to come through? We have the Six of Cups, Two of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, Two of Swords. They feel so stuck. But with the Lovers coming out, I feel like it doesn't have to do with you, what they're going through. Family is coming through very strongly, or something that just needs to stay in the past, but that they were deeply connected to. But I do feel that for most of you, you may get more clarity about this situation at the very least. We will look at what's happening next between the two of you specifically, but I feel like it will at least feel less confusing. Though I'm not sure what through which means. Because I know I said I feel like you're gonna talk to this person again. But I get the sense that it's more so, it's not necessarily about a conversation, but it's more so about clarity. About where you stand and what's going on with them. And it may not be through a conversation necessarily, but I feel like you will, whatever this situation is, like, you will have a better idea of it, what kind of ending may have happened with them, or what they might be dealing with. But I'm not gonna make a lot more comments on that, because I don't want to confuse you, and I haven't really looked at it, so I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut before we actually take a look. So now we're gonna get some channeled messages from the person on your mind. What message wants to come through? I don't want to hold you back. What message wants to come through for pile 2 from the person on their mind? What message wants to come through for pile 2 from the person? What message? We have let go of the past. Yeah, I feel like, again, this relates to what we've been talking about. For maybe some of you, this difficult thing that they are going through could have led to the end of your relationship. I don't know how to fix things. I really admire you, yeah, but it feels like it's from afar. I find it really difficult to open up to people. I feel like this is exactly what we've been talking about. And I'm doubting if I can meet your needs. Is there anything else that we are missing? I saw the Queen of Wands in reverse, so I feel like in certain ways this person does feel really drawn to you, really attracted to your energy. We have the Hierophant We have the Ace of Swords. But they also don't want to get you mixed up in anything dramatic. I feel like this is not someone who would want to bring more drama or confusion into your life or outside of their life and into anyone else's. So it does feel like they are keeping their distance in certain ways. It doesn't feel fully intentional, but it does feel purposeful in the sense that I think they want to deal with whatever they're dealing with on their own. And once again, it's coming through very strongly that it is not personal. It is not because of like their personal attraction or their personal interest or lack thereof in you. It's more so that they're just busy dealing with whatever big shifts are happening for them or have happened for them in the recent past. And it feels like it's very important to let you know that it's not due to a lack of like seriousness, or it's not due to a lack of wonder or care or interest towards you. And I'm putting it that way because it does feel like you're quite distant to each other, or like this is something way back from the past, someone way back from the past that still has you on their mind, that you still feel connected to, or this is someone very new that with whom this connection has not really been like grounded or talked about or become serious yet. But yeah, with that said, I think this is all I have for you for the main part of your reading. I will see you in a little bit if you are meeting me in the extended. And we'll look at where this is going, what they want, and so on. And if not, that is also perfectly okay. I am sending you so much love. Take care, and bye. Hello, my beautiful pile threes, and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at what the person on your mind is not telling you, but what is important for you to know about their perspective or about what's going on with them. So we're starting off with these oracle cards first, then we have some tarot to get through as well as channeled messages, and there will also be an extended, so stay tuned. Okay, let's just get into this. We have the Seeker, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. We have the 9th house, Sagittarius energy could be significant. We have Taurus. We have the Thread. Let love flourish at whatever pace it needs to. We have the Weather. We have Leo, I will. And Saturn, Truth. Now, I know there are only 3 piles, but this energy, I feel, connects in some way to one of the other piles. I will not tell you which one it is. So if you feel drawn to another pile, you may want to check that out as well before or after this, or I don't know, see if this resonates. But yeah, Capricorn energy could also be significant. So this feels like, first of all, I want to talk about the time point of this because it feels like this is someone that you connected with or reconnected with after a painful ending. It feels like you come into this person's energy carrying some wounds, like maybe being in the middle of a healing cycle, maybe still recovering from an ending that happened in the past, maybe still learning some lessons from a past intimate connection, especially that you may have had to let go of. It feels like there is immense growth at the time of this snapshot of energy that I'm tuning into. And this could be right now, but this could also refer to how you met this person and how this person may have come into your life. But it seems like it's at a time where you are learning very significant lessons about yourself for your own soul, especially when it comes to what you will commit to, what you will pour energy into, what you will sell for, what feels right to you, what feels aligned to you, what your views are. about how you think a connection should be for you, what a relationship is to you, maybe things along those lines. It feels like you are defining or redefining a lot of things at the time you are meeting this person or you have met them already. Interesting that I put it that way, because I get the feeling for some of you, you may be on the verge of meeting this person right now, or you may have literally just met. But either way, what this person is not telling you first is that they don't want to rush into anything. And they might tell you this part, but I think this person feels a very strong, very deep connection to you in a way that they may not be able to put into words, and in a way that might intimidate them a little bit. But they are not someone who wants to force anything or who wants to rush something, who wants to be impatient or reckless. They are very interested in seeing what this situation might lead to. They're very interested in seeing the potential of this connection, and I think they already feel quite a boost, like an energetic boost from this connection. I think they might feel very inspired by you as well, very drawn to you, very curious about you, very interested in you. And they might see you as someone who is very unpredictable as well, but in a way that is exciting and not in a way that makes them feel anxious or unsure. It feels like you have met this person, or anyway, it doesn't matter the timing, but it feels like they see you as someone who is really standing in their own power and literally, quite literally, shining. And they feel so drawn to that. You don't fit into a mold. You don't care to fit into a mold. You don't care if other people don't think you fit into a mold, or whether you fit in, like, they think you fit into a mold, whatever. It just feels like a lot of things that may have bothered you in the past now bounce off of you. And this person seems to observe that somehow. I don't think you've known them long enough necessarily that at the beginning stage of this, like at this stage of the connection, they would already know exactly what you've been through or exactly what you feel. You may have mentioned some things. You may have mentioned, oh, I just got out of a relationship, or I'm still like working on some things for myself, or whatever it may be. I feel like this person really sees you at your core somehow. They might be someone who really understands people as well. I don't think they're necessarily the most open person in terms of giving things away about their own self. But if anything, they feel so drawn to you and they want to give you space for you to explore what it is that you want. This is really not someone who will force their own agenda onto you or into this situation. This is not someone who's going to force you to do something you're not ready for. This is not someone who will disrespect your boundaries or disrespect your wishes if you have told them, like, this is what I would like, this is, like, I'm not ready for this, I would rather stay away from that right now. This is someone who inherently wants to give you space, but they want it to be obvious that they do see potential here, and it feels a bit like they may not know exactly where you stand. They seem to hope that you are drawn to them too, that you would be drawn to them too, but it also doesn't feel like there's been like a commitment that's been made, that like you are together already, or you're not dating other people. You don't have to be dating other people. But this just kind of feels like the beginning of something, or maybe this is a new chapter for some of you with someone that you know from the past that has wanted to give you space to heal, space and time for you to heal. Maybe from your connection with this person, if that applies to your situation. But for most of you, this does feel like someone that is a bit on the newer side, someone that maybe you don't know too well yet, but someone that you feel quite connected to, especially in an intellectual sense. You may have had conversations where you realized you have matching values with this person. They may be very giving, you may be very giving. You may not have experienced this yourself yet, but they may have told you stories or things about them that make it obvious that they're very giving. Or you may be very patient in a relationship, and maybe your past partners were not, and you've talked to this person and they validated how you feel. It feels like something along those lines, and this person feels like right now you are in a stage of your life where you are flourishing, and they do not want to get in the way of that. So I feel like they're kind of leaving the ball in your court, and they're not trying to take control of the situation. And I feel like they're not trying to force anything to happen or rush into something that maybe you'll regret later on. I feel like they want you to have as much space as possible for you to decide what you want. If you want to pursue them, I feel like they want you to come to that realization on your own. For some of you, this might be a friend that like nothing romantic has happened with, but this person may have developed feelings for you over time. Maybe they've seen you evolve and like experience different connections, and maybe they've witnessed how you've been learning from them. But if this isn't a friend or someone from the past, I feel like this is just someone who feels very energetically drawn to you. They may have just seen you maybe like on a dating app or just with mutual friends, and they may have thought, I want to talk to this person. They seem really interesting. I'm very curious about them. Curiosity and learning more about you is coming through very, very, very strongly, and also giving you space is coming through very strongly. And if you have misread their desire to give you space as like them not being interested, I feel like that's not the case. But I think this is someone who can see that you may appreciate having some space and doing things on your own and going after what you want. Maybe you are pursuing like a new hobby. Maybe you're leveling up in your career. Maybe you're starting a business. It feels like you are getting the recognition that you deserve. And it almost feels like this person is just like, they feel like a little bit like they're just an option in your sea of admirers. Maybe they might have certain insecurities within themselves that lead them to feel this way. Or maybe they quite literally know you have a sea of admirers. I don't know. But they see you as very delicate, but very strong and very powerful. Like the flower that every bee is drawn to, but the flower won't open up for everyone. And there'll be like a swarm of bees around the flower buzzing, but the flower will only let in the good bees, or at least will try to. I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor, so I think it's time we get into the tarot. And before I start shuffling for that, I will quickly talk about what's in the extended. In the extended, we will look at what this person truly wants to happen between the two of you. No boundaries, no limits to what they could want. We will also look at where is this connection actually headed, since sometimes actions and desires may not be word for word a match. Bottom deck energy is the Ace of Cups, by the way. We will also get tons of channeled messages from this person and advice and or channeled messages from your higher self. So if you're interested, the link will be down below. Now I will shut up about that and get back into the reading. What is this person not telling pile 3 that they should know, please? What is this person not telling pile 3 that they should know about? For some of you, you might be with this person, but you might be taking a break from your connection, or like focusing less on the relationship. Just feels like they are giving you space and letting you have as much space as you need, letting you and encouraging you to take as much space as you need. What is this person not telling pile 3, but pile 3 should know? We have the Emperor in reverse. Oh, my right ear is, oh, my right ear is ringing. Stop. Okay, we're fine. We have the Emperor in reverse, and an ambulance is going. There's been so many today. I don't know what's going on. We have the King of Swords. We have the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Swords in reverse. I'm not used to this deck, so it's taking me a second to figure out what's what. Pile 3, please. What is this person? The Seven of Swords. I think this person does not want you to be concerned with this situation right now. It feels like they may have knowledge that makes them feel like you don't have space for this right now. Or maybe you just directly told them, but they may have also just observed it in terms of like how you're approaching them, and they may be trying to match that energy because they don't want you to feel suffocated or like forced into something or rushed into something you don't necessarily want to be in. It feels like they are releasing control of the situation. Like they don't want to be in control. They don't want to, maybe they don't want to be the one that like takes action or makes something happen. Maybe they are, it seems a bit like maybe they're more so in a wait and observe kind of energy, and that may come off as cold and detached sometimes, but I don't think this person intends it that way. We have the Ten of Wands. It feels a bit like they're waiting for there to be space for them in your energy. And that's also maybe why I felt like some of you may not have met this person yet, because maybe you feel someone coming in, but you feel that you're just not ready for that yet, for that shift yet, or to get to know this person yet. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Cups. There's also the bottom deck just a little bit ago. And we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. I feel like this is someone with a lot of empathy and a lot of understanding and quite a warm energy. They may come across as a bit like unapproachable. For some of you, that might be because they have really good style, or like they are very well established in their career or like a friend group, something along those lines. They may appear a bit intimidating and cold at first. Maybe it's just how they dress. But regardless, this is not someone who is actually cold. They actually have a lot of warmth and a lot of love to give. They are very selective with who they give it to, though. And it really feels like they're kind of taking a step back. They've kind of paused because they don't want to force anything. And they really don't want to lose this opportunity that they feel they might have with you. We have the Page of Cups coming out. And the bottom deck energy is the High Priestess. Cancer energy could be significant, even though that's not what this is saying. I still insist on Cancer energy. You can also pause and look at all the signs that are on these cards. We have the King of Pentacles, the Fool, Hanged Man in reverse, Death in reverse, Three of Cups, King of Cups, Justice in reverse, Ten of Cups. Yeah, they're waiting for other energies to leave your energy, to leave your surrounding. Maybe you have like an ex that's still lingering around that this person knows about. I'm more convinced by the friend scenario right now as well, looking at this. Or this is at least someone who has some kind of insight into your life. Maybe that's also directly through you. But it could also be someone you share friends with. Yeah, but it could also just be you told them, literally, and they know you're kind of going through it, or you're not ready, or you don't want to rush into something, and whatever it is, this person wants to respect your wishes. But I feel like maybe they are having a little bit of a hard time balancing like this energy of showing them that they are interested, like showing you that they are interested without coming on too strong and making this pain worse or making you feel pressured. And it feels like they may just not have a balance of like, I'm here doing my own thing, I'm still interested, I don't want to pressure you, but should I text you, should I see you, how often do you want to see me, do you want to see me? It feels a bit like they might be in their head about how much you want from them and how much you are open to. And they may feel that bringing that up will maybe make you uncomfortable or make you feel pressured. It does feel a bit like they could feel like they're walking on eggshells a little bit, but I don't think that's because of anything you've done or said necessarily. I think it's just because they're trying to be very considerate of how you might be feeling. And because I think they don't know you on a very intimate level so far, they don't want to overstep whatever boundaries you may have. I think they're trying to be as respectful as possible to you, your space, your needs. I do think they like you with the Ace of Cups, and it does feel exciting. I think they're eager to be around you, but they really, really don't want to overstep any boundaries or make you uncomfortable or make you kind of back away from them. I think they may have a lot of worries about what step they should take, because I do think they feel quite drawn to you, but they also seem to be at a loss as to the timing or if they should do anything at all. So that's why I think they're kind of at a place where they've given up control and they're letting you take the steering wheel, and they're letting you tell them like whether you're open to something or not, or what you want. I feel like they're trying to, in some ways, detach from this connection and just allow things to be, allow things to unfold. I really think they don't want to like push anything too far or do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing. So I do think they are worried in that sense. But I also think this is someone who looks at things as like, if it's meant to be, it will be. And if not, it won't be. And life is life. I feel like they kind of may have a bit of a more stoic perspective on that. Maybe this is someone who has a lot of experience with like heartbreak or loss or things not going the way that they expect them to. I don't think they are pessimistic. It feels more like they always try their best to allow things to be. And like just trust in the process, trust in what's happening, trust in their gut feeling, trust in what they're drawn to. I think they feel that there is a lot to potentially discover in this connection, but it still feels quite up in the air in terms of the energy. I also just saw the Three of Wands, which can also talk about potential and something that has potential to be explored. And it can talk about the future, but it can also talk about waiting for something. So I do feel the connection itself might not feel the most fast moving or exciting right now, but that also feels like it's because someone needs to recover from something from the past. And I will also say, for some of you, this might be a mirrored energy, or it might be flip-flopped, where like this person is the one going through something. So take it as it resonates. And I want to get some channeled messages now to see what this person would say to you, if they could say anything at all. Pile 3, please. So what message wants to come through for pile 3? What message? I feel really alone in dealing with this situation. I have a lot of respect for you. Interesting. I kind of want to clarify that, but we'll see in a second. This person might be going through... Maybe this message applies if this is like flip-flopped. I can't stop thinking about the past. Are we going to get two different energies from the top and the bottom? I still dream of having you by my side. Kind of feels like it. Let me get a message for pile 3. I can't do this anymore. And I feel really vulnerable. Okay. Bottom deck is, I'm worried you'll change your mind about me. This person, I think, again, does have like worries about how it will happen, but they're trying to kind of release that and let it be. But with these messages coming out in like kind of, it almost feels like two parallel situations where for some of you, this person might be the one going through this difficult energy. It could also be like a conversation between you and this person. But if this is someone you have history with, which I don't think will be the case for a lot of you, but I would take like mainly the top row messages. I'm not the biggest fan of when this happens, but when I have 3 piles, sometimes it gets a bit more meshed together. So let's just, okay, clarify. Why do we have, or why am I perceiving kind of a split in the energies? We have the 10 of Pentacles. Because some of you have already lived a chapter with this person. And some of you have not. So for some of you, this is a renewed cycle, a renewed person. Someone like this, for some of you, this is reconciliation energy. So who you're healing from is also this person that is coming through. And I think for others of you, it is someone entirely new. What is the other scenario? I just want to get like confirmation so I'm not making sense. Ace of Wands. Okay, that is our confirmation. For some of you, this is someone that you have manifested or are manifesting. Someone with coming in with like this kind of new, coming into this new garden with the 7 of Pentacles energy. And for others of you, this is kind of someone like someone returning from the past that you've already had history with, maybe someone you have been married to for some of you as well. And I would take the top messages for this scenario, the reconciliation or someone like returning, and I would take the bottom messages mainly for the newer energy. And with I feel really vulnerable, I mean, I feel like both would apply to the person from the past, all of the messages, but for the new person, it could, like, I would maybe not take the messages with kind of history behind them not so much into account. And maybe that's why I couldn't really settle on one particular situation, because it seems difficult. Like, I feel like this is one pile where it could just be any scenario. But this person's approach seems to remain the same, that they want to make space, or they are making space for you, or trying to show up in a way where they're honoring your feelings and trying to understand you to the best of their ability. But either way, you are the best judge of what resonates with you and what does not. So you decide what messages you take, what you ignore, or if you ignore the whole reading, that is also perfectly fine. Whatever you feel called to do. And on this note, this is all I have for you. I will see you in a little bit if you're meeting me in the extended. I'm very interested to see what comes out for this pile. I might have to separate the energies into the two situations depending on what comes out. We'll see. But either way, if you're not meeting me there, that is perfectly fine. And I'm sending you tons of love. Take care and bye. And if you're meeting me in the extended, I'll see you in a second. Okay, bye.